I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Bee Ballingarry. I'm a Gumbaynggirr elder. I'm known as Auntie Bee Ballingarry. Recently I've been honoured by being invited into the Council of 13 Australian Grandmothers, so I'm also Grandmother Beatrice. As a child growing, I was very influenced by my grandmother. Her name was Florence Ballingarry. She used to always talk about language to us when she knew she couldn't talk about language, because language was beaten out of us in schools. And my grandmother influenced me to don't let go of the core of your culture, and language is the key to our culture.
Please make welcome to the stage and put your hands together for Auntie Bee Ballingarry.
Doing Welcome to Country gives me the space and opportune moment to speak about the paradise that we live in. Our expansive ocean, our fresh mountain waterways, coastal towns and the hinterland, all connected and drawing us all together here today to showcase, experience and celebrate the best of our art, dance, storytelling, music, activities and song. Welcome everybody. Let us share today with our sisters and brothers from other cultures because we can. Thank you and be safe.
Now, I've always watched the way that my grandmother has brought women together, and so I've always had this idea of sitting with women, dealing with what we have to deal with, talk about what we don't know, and speak into how we can make a platform for women to speak together about what they need.
Please make Auntie Bee and Dave. Can you explain to people what a circle is? Some people might not know.
Yeah, a circle is an established, it's a circle of people. We put foliage around, it just brings it into brings space. It sets the scene.
Now, circles, to me, it's a space. It's a safe place to sit and share story. It's a safe place to speak about values, to speak into what a value is, to understand what a value is and what it is that you highly value and would like other people to value that in you. It's precious to me the way that we can learn from each other and we can teach each other. So we're learners and teachers all in the one circle, and what we have to offer each other is support. Growing up for me was difficult. Being born in 1943 was under that same policy that denied me access to state school, and so that was an issue for my parents because they wanted us to learn Western way. So not being allowed state school education was coming from a mentality of why should you teach animals, because we were categorised under the Flora and Fauna Act, and so why would you teach an animal, because an animal's not going to be able to learn. So growing up had its moments, but my parents, they persevered, especially my mother. Like when I was 3 and my appendix burst and she's standing on the veranda of the Barraville Hospital with doctors refusing her entry and bringing me into the hospital. Well, she said, well, if that's going to happen, I'm going to stand on the veranda. If anything happens to my daughter, I'm going to be here, and it's going to happen here on the front veranda. But the outcome of that was that they did take me in. They did remove my appendix, and that's 2 times that I remember when Mum and Dad were sharing stories with me later, that I saw that it would have taken her courage and commitment to have me in the school and receive medical attention. So I've picked up on that. My parents were committed to us owning who we are, honouring who we are, staying central to the core of our heritage, but to know that we're living in a predominantly white society, and so we need to know how to survive in that other world. I had to understand the language, Western language, to be able to speak back into it while owning who I am. And so for me today in my community development work, which is my lifelong work, I have to speak it both ways.
I think it's important to work at inclusiveness and bring people together.
I have to speak into clarifying what makes life easier for me as an Aboriginal woman to the non-Aboriginal folk, as well as saying to my folk, look, it's easier if we can do this. If we can walk together, it's going to make it easier for us. And I call that walking in the two worlds, like I walk two roads, and I do that constantly. Every bit of my work is about that. I get really emotional around what I'm passing on. I see what I'm passing on to a lot of women. That makes me feel like I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing. I know that. I know that in my heart, and I know that in my spirit. It touches me, it moves me, and I get emotional about it, but that's just how it is. Oh, there you go. Thank you.
Pictures in my head remind me